So I've been noticing something and I need to talk about it because I don't think enough people are connecting the dots. The women you admire, the ones leading teams, earning well, checking all the boxes, a lot of them are they're quietly walking away. Not because they're failing and not because they can't handle it. They're leaving because they're done playing small, even in the big corporate roles. And what I want to share, what I'm seeing, because if you're feeling this too, you need to know you're not alone. I'm Dre Nicole. I'm a career strategist and corporate exit mentor. In my coaching calls, my inbox conversations with former colleagues, I keep seeing the same pattern. Smart, brilliant, seasoned, high performing women are planning exits that look nothing like what we've been taught. Not the rage quitting after a bad review. They're not waiting for retirement at 65. They're not even looking for another corporate job. They're just done. And here's what's wild. These aren't burnout stories, at least not in the way we usually talk about burnout. These are women who still have plenty of drive, plenty of ambition, plenty of energy. They're just tired of pouring all of that into a container that was never designed to hold them fully. And one woman I recently spoke with, let's call her Michelle for this video. She's been a managing director at her company for over 6 years. She has a great salary, respected by her team. But she told me something that stuck with me. She said, I've outgrown the role, but the company has outgrown their idea of who I should be. And I'm like, that hit me because I have been Michelle. So why are they leaving? I think there's three big reasons that nobody really talks about. First, they've outgrown the role, not the ambition. These women aren't less driven. They're just done trying to fit their brilliance into roles that shrink them. And they've spent years building expertise, proving themselves, delivering results, and they're still having to justify their seat at the table. And at some point, you stop asking for permission and you start building your own table. Second, legacy is calling louder than loyalty. And I've heard this phrase in so many different ways. I don't want to look back at 60 and realize I spent my best years building someone else's dream. And to be clear, that's not ungrateful. That's not selfish. That is clarity. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Third, success without peace isn't success. It's survival. You can have the title, the salary, the recognition, and still feel hollow because if your nervous system is in fight or flight mode every Sunday night, if you're medicating stress with wine or shopping or scrolling, something's broken. And the women I'm talking to, they're not willing to live like that anymore. They didn't lose their drive. They found their clarity. So where are they going if they're leaving careers they once worked so hard for? Here's what I'm seeing. They're building businesses, purpose-driven consulting, service-based entrepreneurship, coaching practices, speaking careers, agency. Here's the key. They're not chasing the hustle. They're designing harmony and they're creating businesses that honor their voice, their values, and their vision, not someone else's bottom line. And they're doing it strategically, not out of desperation, not as a reaction. They're architecting their exit, saving, planning, testing, building a runway before they leave. And that's the difference between a crisis and a calling. So here's what that looks like. One woman I know, she spent a year and a half quietly building her consulting practice while still working full time. And when she finally gave her notice, she already had a pipeline of clients lined up. And that's not reckless, that's smart. Let's be really clear about something. These women are not walking away in weakness. They're walking towards power on their terms. This is not a midlife crisis. This is a strategic reset. They're not burning bridges. They're building runways. And here's what I wish more people understood. They're not leaving success. They're redefining it because success that cost you your peace, your health, your joy, that's not success. That's a trap with a good title. And once you realize that, once you realize you have permission to want more, to want different, everything shifts. If you've been feeling it too, if the role no longer fits, if your brilliance feels dimmed, if you're wondering, is this really it? This message is absolutely for you. Have you been thinking about what's next, but you're scared to say it out loud? Have you been shrinking yourself for the sake of stability? Is your silence masking dissatisfaction? Here's what I need you to know. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not ungrateful. You're just being called to something bigger than what you currently have permission to build. And that's okay. That's actually more than okay. That's evolution. Look, I can't tell you what to do. Only you know what's right for you. But I can tell you this. The women who make this transition well, they don't do it alone. And they don't do it in a panic. If this is resonating with you, I have 2 ways I can support you. First, join the table. That's my free weekly newsletter. We unpack moves that matter, that move the needle. Real talk about navigating mid-career shifts with strategy, not struggle. The link is in the description. And second, order my book, Choice Destinations. It's the blueprint I wish I had when I was navigating my own career transition. And that link will also be below. And be sure to like, share, subscribe. If this message, if this video resonated, your support helps this message reach more women who need to hear it. And drop a comment. Are you feeling the shift today? I'd love to hear what's coming up for you next. And until the next video, make your next move your best move.